quitting vaping or smoking? Maybe you tried to quit last year, or maybe this is the year you're finally going to control your nicotine dependency. Jones can help you follow through on your quitting goals. Their FDA-approved nicotine mints give you a healthier alternative. No smoke, no vapor, no pouches, no hidden chemicals, just a discreet mint that can double your chances of quitting successfully. If your New Year's resolution is to quit, or even just to use nicotine in a healthier way, check out Quit with Jones. Go to quitwithjones.com/save10. Take the quiz, get a doctor-recommended plan, and $10 off. Heads up, the mints contain nicotine, which is addictive. Use as directed. Jones products are FDA approved and for 18 and up only. If you don't use nicotine, don't start. Get in control. Don't let nicotine control you. That's quitwithjones.com/save10 and use code SAVE10 for $10 off.
Welcome to Surviving Roots, the podcast where we navigate the messy, beautiful work of healing and growth. I'm your host, Cari Fund, and this is your space to breathe, reflect, and find strength. Whether you're breaking free from old patterns, healing from loss, or rebuilding your story one small step at a time, you're in the right place. So take a deep breath, give yourself this time, and let's uncover the tools to move forward with courage. This podcast is for you. Today's guest is Diana Arango, the co-founder and CEO of Chefpost, a platform redefining how busy families nourish themselves at home by connecting them with vetted personal chefs on demand. Born and raised in Colombia, Diana has been an entrepreneur from the start, and her mission was shaped by her own experience as a working mom, craving more presence, more peace, and more support. Now a wife and mother of 2 boys, she's building at the intersection of family, hospitality, and innovation, proving that you can design a fulfilling life without burning out. And I am so excited to welcome Diana to the show. Hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited about this conversation.
Thank you so much. I have to tell everyone listening, we've met in person a few times, and our last meeting was actually one of the most loveliest dinner parties I had ever been to, hosted by you and your amazing company, Chefpost.
Yes. Thank you so much. It was so nice. I always feel like intimate gatherings are more than the food. It's just really connecting in a more deeper way with people. So I love. And it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be there. And I will say you reminded me how it's so important to just romanticize even the little things in life, whether it's a dinner party or just connecting with friends and making time for that connection. Also listening to other people's stories and sharing our stories. That was probably, I have to say, it was probably one of the most amazing dinner parties I'd ever been to. I left, could not go to sleep that night. I had little fireflies in my chest, and I just wanted more.
This means the world, and it's true. Sometimes we have to make the time for these moments of connection, of dinners, or those moments are so special, and to have these conversations also with different people. I do host these gatherings almost every 2 to 3 months, and I love to bring different people together. So it's a different group of friends or people that do not know each other, but they have interest in common. So it's super, super nice. Every dinner is so, so special. So it was very special having you there.
It was. And you also reminded me, the people that were at the dinner party that I attended a couple months ago in Miami, everyone can seem so different, but we can relate so much in our stories of upbringing, or our stories of how we see ourselves in the world or what we want in the world. It was a very connecting kind of evening.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to dive right in because I find to be such a special human being. I've met you a few times and you are so passionate about your motherhood, your business, and honestly living a life that seems so fulfilled, but without burning out, which I know we can all relate to.
Yes.
I want to know your secrets. So I'd love to start with, where does your relationship with food and home begin? And how did that shape your belief in this connection and comfort?
So it's so funny. I've always been interested in food. Sometimes you don't realize how all the dots connect with each other. So I went to law school in real life. But when I graduated from high school, I made like this document about how food heals and how to to know about food as medicine, because I'm into natural things and all those. Like, food is way more than food. It's a way to nourish you, but also it has different like medicinal properties, etc. So I've been always interested in food in that way, to see it in more than just what you eat. And in the other hand, well, I'm from Colombia. Colombia food is huge. Is how we kind of connect. It's our love language. We have so many different traditions around the table. And even though in Colombia is very accessible to have maybe someone that cooks for you, different from the US actually, that was one of the reasons behind Chefpost, that I realized it's possible to have a better lifestyle if you have that help at home that cooks personalized meals, etc. But not only that, my mom also is a huge cook, amazing cook. She's also a super big entrepreneur, businesswoman, etc. But the beauty about that and how I was raised is that I always saw that super woman that also was a very super woman at home. So she was also preparing on the weekends, a huge family gatherings, not because it was a special or because we are celebrating anything, but it was a moment, a very special moment to be together. And even when we grew up, I was telling this to my husband that it was so beautiful. When we grow up, we tend to go with our boyfriends, our friends, and all of these. But it was like religiously, we had to have lunch on Sundays as a family together, no matter what. So it's that, I think that food goes way beyond what it is for you to eat, but how you gather around food, and that goes into different cultures. So I think it's that connection started there from very early ages.
I absolutely love that. And that sounds so special. Now I can see that you had a big mentor in your life. Your mother sounds just as amazing as you are.
Thank you. But yes, cheese.
But I mean, I really can understand that. Growing up, I didn't have that in my childhood, but my mom comes from a huge Italian family. So I do remember those big Sunday after church, like big Italian feasts. So one thing I do with my own parenting now, when he's not traveling, is we always come together every night for dinner. Sometimes it's really hard, even if we order sushi or pizza, or if I'm cooking, but we always come together every evening as much as possible.
That's nice.
And have a family dinner. I don't know. For some reason, when my kids grow up, I want them to like look back and always remember like we made time to connect and
Yes.
eat together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that sticks with you. Like, you see, like I didn't kind of realize that at that time.
Yeah.
But now as I grew, of course, and I have my own kids, I want them also to feel that belonging and that kind of tie with the family. And still we gather with now my sisters, everyone. So it goes way beyond.
That's beautiful. So here you are, you're a wife, you have 2 kids. What was the moment when you realized, okay, there has to be a better way, and Chefpost became the solution? Like, what was the aha moment?
The aha moment, I was very overwhelmed. I'm going to be honest. I was in a point where I was so overwhelmed that I was very reactive. You know, when you are so stressed out and someone touches you and you're like a whole tiger, and it was becoming very recurrent. And I am someone that is very patient, that I don't really explode that often, but I felt that I was very overwhelmed at home. And the reason why, it was because I was working, I was having 2 small kids, and then I had to run home from soccer, from school, from work to prepare dinner. And of course, for me, food is important. So it's not that easy for me just to order fast food or Uber Eats. So it was becoming really stressful. And I remember one night that my kids were like, after being it's not their fault, but kids are kids, and I was super tired, and I prepared some meal, and I know how to cook, but sometimes it doesn't come quite right. And then one of the kids was, oh my God, I don't like this. This is so, I was like, oh my God, I exploded. I said like, you don't know. And then I told my husband, let's find some way to get someone that cooks for us. Maybe once a week. We don't need this person full time, but can prepare the meals for the week. And I can guide this person. I couldn't find. I was asking everyone, and it was not that easy. And then I was looking for a chef post for ourselves and I couldn't find. So, of course, my entrepreneurship mindset bulb came and said, like, it's not possible. This has to exist. There is a better way for this. And again, in Colombia, you have access to this. So I really know how life-changing this is to have help at home and help in other ways, but help really makes your life easier and better.
Yeah. I mean, you're not only solving problems for families with regards to time, but it's mental load and burnout, because the mental load, when when you're about to have a baby and they say, oh, well, you'll never sleep the same, or you'll never this again, or traveling or vacation will be different. No one talks about food preparation. No
Yes.
one talks about the mental load of feeding your family at least 3 times a day, the grocery shopping, the lists, them not getting burnt out on cooking the same thing, having the time to prep that, like you said, between school stuff and sports stuff and not getting home. It is a full-time job, and it all lives like here.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes even now, I love cooking when I am in peace. It's not that I hate cooking. Many of our customers at Chefpost, they come because they hate cooking and they don't even know how to turn on the stove, which is totally fine. Not playing the game. But I actually like to cook. But one thing is to cook maybe on the weekends when you
Yeah.
have the time, when you don't have all the kids with so many other activities. And another thing is to cook when you are super tired, when you have so
Yeah.
many things to do. I mean, we all do what we have to do, and just having that option. And again, we made Chefpost in a way that is flexible enough that you don't have to book every single week or on a monthly basis, just on demand whenever you need that extra hand. That's where we come in.
Yeah, that sounds like a dream. As you're saying that, I'm literally thinking of myself last night. We just got home at 7:15 from sports. I'm yelling at one kid to go take a bath, one kid to finish their math. I'm trying to cook. And honestly, my life is like that Monday through Thursday. And then by the time I place dinner on the table, I don't even want to eat it. I just want to go take a shower upstairs alone while they're busy eating. And that's one thing I think, I can cook, but one of the things that I would use Chef Post for is to be able to actually enjoy the meal myself and to be able to take a deep breath and sit down myself rather than being on to the next thing because the family's busy eating. So then I'm like, I can do this, I can do that, I can shower quickly because you're looking at bedtime routine just around the corner. So
Yes.
I feel like it would just give me like just time back and also the moments to just like really sit in life myself, enjoy the meal with my family.
Yes. And not only that, let me add you something that I also realized as when we book a chef, you eat better. For example,
Yeah.
I have the office at home and I have an office, like a real office. But then when you are at home, sometimes you are so busy that you end up having like a protein bar or a snack because of course you're not going to stop the whole day in the middle of the workday to prepare your meal. So when you have that food or meals prepared already in the fridge, there is no excuse. You always have homemade meals ready for you and you end up eating better, less processed
Yeah.
meals or food. So it's very helpful.
Also, I love your website because you can also introduce yourself and your family, especially your kids, to like unique cuisines that you would never know how to cook. Like I love the fact that
Mhm.
you can do like vegetarian, you can do French, Italian, American, you can do something more Israeli or Mediterranean based. Like you really can just sort of like travel around the world but from your own home.
True, true. And also because, I mean, food is so personal.
Yeah.
Families eat the way my family eats probably is very different the way your family eats. And that's the beauty about having a personal chef or a home cook in your home that you can tell them, listen, my kids do not eat garlic. My husband doesn't
Yeah.
eat fish. I eat like this. So it's very personalized to your own food restrictions or lifestyle or diet. So many
Yeah.
different styles and cuisines in today's world.
It's so true. One thing I want to talk about is it stuck with me, and it was at that dinner party that I saw
Mhm.
you at a couple months ago. We started talking towards the end as we were saying our goodbyes, and I said I would love to have you on Surviving Roots podcast. Like I just want to share this message because you said something about balance that really stuck with me.
Yes.
And I remember, people asking you, do you believe in balance or do you believe in like the rhythms and the seasons? And you like really shared your realistic version of what balance really looks like as a mom. And I would love for you to share your thoughts on that. Like, what is balance to you?
I mean, there's no balance, really.
Yeah, say it.
There's no balance, but it is also how to, I think everything is integrated. I cannot separate myself now and pretend, okay, I'm only the entrepreneur or the founder of Chefpost. I'm also a mom. So if someone calls now from school that happens and say like, listen, your kid, something happened with your kid and you need to pick him up. I have to probably, okay, I'll finish here the interview and I have other things to do, but then I'll have to run and pick them up. So at the end of the day, what it is to be in peace with yourself that yes, you have a structure and you have different roles in life, but everything has to be integrated with everything. You can not isolate yourself. Okay, I'm just a mom. I just do one thing in life. And in my case, for example, I do other things. And that's something that I really empower women. I try to tell them, listen, you can be different things. You can be a mom, you can be a wife, you can be an entrepreneur, you can work for someone else, you can be so many things. The key is not to do everything at the same time in the same exact moment. And I think that the secret is trying to time block or organize your life in a way that you can be all those different roles in your life and assign some time to those things.
Yeah.
So this is basically how I do it. And also to be in peace with whatever comes, because you can control so much in life. And that is something that as moms, I feel that it disturbs you when your plans change, because life is like this. So you have to have a structure. You have to have your schedule. You have to have your time block. I love time blocking. That's my secret weapon. But I also understand that things can come and you have to be flexible enough to adapt with whatever comes. And also, in case with my kids, they know what I do. So like, again, it's not a balance, but it's integrating everything. So they know sometimes I have to work and I am with them working and with no mom guilt. Sometimes I'm maybe I have to be on a soccer game and I cannot be at work. So that's kind of the dance that we have to play around, but not to be so hard on ourselves that kind of upsets you, because that's the thing. Sometimes life throws you things that you cannot control, and you just have to adapt and be flexible enough to play with whatever life throws you.
Love that. I love that. I love that. And yes, time blocking, I use that as well. And it's the only way I actually can survive the
Is there
day.
a way?
It's the only way. At the dinner party, you also said something to me about suffering. Do you remember we were talking about motherhood and how we look at motherhood and something about suffering?
Yes.
Do you remember what you said?
Yes. So, I mean, I don't like to say like rules or general concepts, but I do think that motherhood sometimes is seen like it has a suffering connotation. Like, oh my God, poor person that is a mother, they have to suffer so much. It's so hard. It is true that it's hard, like many things in life. There's many people that they probably are not mothers, and it's also hard in many ways their lives, right? But it's all about perspective and how you see things. So in my case, especially motherhood is something that it was my dream since I was a little girl. I never dreamt about being married. My husband knows that. I was lucky that I got married with an amazing man. It's like the truth. I was obsessed about it being, I even told when I was young, I used to say to my friends, listen, if I don't find the guy at 35, I'm going to do something about it, but I'm going to be a mom no matter what.
I love
Thankfully, God made me a wife and a mom and everything came in the right place. But motherhood for me is something that is, as I always say, mom first, but I'm also very ambitious in some other ways. So with that being said, when I became a mom, I was very living so much appreciation for this role that even though I know it's hard, and even my mom and my sisters make fun of me because they say like, I mean, you enjoy everything. You are so patient. And I tell them, listen, it's the way you see things and how you take things. There are moments, of course, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I scream. But I try to avoid that happening. We are humans and this happens. But most of the times I do see motherhood as a blessing and as a privilege, and I don't take that for granted at all. So that's why I try not to see it in a way that is suffering and to not suffer. Also, I do agree that you need to outsource, to find help, and I, even if it's your mom, your neighbors, your friends, I think us as moms, your partner, your husband, whoever it is, I do believe that we have to find ways to help ourselves to avoid that kind of suffering mentality that is so hard, and the complaining and, oh my God, is that man, la, la, la. So I'm, entrepreneur, so I'm busy, and I also have a kid that plays soccer, so I travel with him a lot for his soccer games. And I have moms that come to me and say, "Oh my God, how you do this? You?" And I tell him, "Listen, I don't see it like that. I see it that it's so fun. I take it very seriously. I'm so competitive. So for me, this is heaven. The weekends is like my other competition." So you see, it's the way we see things. And is sometimes there is real suffering. I'm not gonna deny that. And when it's real suffering, is good to accept there is suffering, and there are specific situations where women or parents are suffering for different reasons, and that is real. Suffering is real. But just because it's a little bit hard, that's not like the suffering mindset that I try to be away from.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, research shows like the words we use, you should be careful with the words that you use because your brain actually starts to believe them and then you think that's your world. I mean, I literally just corrected my daughter today. It was like pajama day at school and I ordered these pajamas. Well, she didn't try them on until this morning and the top was a little too loose, so she didn't feel comfortable, so she had to wear a different. And I literally heard her say like, like, this day's going to be horrible. My life is terrible. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, let's think about the words that we're using, because if you don't take a deep breath and realize what you just said, you're going to go to school and you're going to just think about that all day long. Like, this is a terrible day. My pajamas don't match. And you're going to end up attracting all of this stuff. Like, whether you're taking a quiz, like, you're going to be in this state of mood, I said to her,
Yes.
that is everything's terrible. Yeah, no, I truly, when it's not like real suffering, I think it's very important, like the words that we use. And when you said that to me and shared that with me at the dinner party, it definitely stuck with me. I was like, this is what I want her to talk about and share on the episode.
Yes, because I mean, it's hard, don't get me wrong. I mean, especially when you have a full-time job, but one thing is things being hard and another thing is suffering.
Yeah.
It's just the way you see things sometimes.
Yeah.
You see it in I try to see the glass half full, and that helps a lot. I believe that mindset and is everything in life.
Yeah. I also think it's so important. I mean, when you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur and you're on soccer duty or tennis duty, whatever, and you're just going, 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 I feel like sometimes we honestly forget that we have the power just to pause and to stop. Like,
True.
when everything is moving so fast and when we're starting to get to that like suffering mentality or things are so hard or I'm drowning, we could just stop. We can just like pause, even if it's for like a moment, to like, we really do forget how powerful we are, but we just get so caught up in the mental load and the physical load of life sometimes that sometimes it's okay just to like pause and breathe. And even in that moment, to ask for help. So whether it's a family member or it's a service like yours, like Chefpost, like, it's okay to ask for help. I've had to unlearn that a lot about myself as a woman and a mother, is that my kids are almost 11 and 8. And
Mhm.
I really just started asking for help like within 2 years ago. Felt like if I asked for help, I was weak. I think
Mhm.
because of how I grew up, I was always having to do things myself and never asking for help. And I really had to unlearn that a lot, because it does take a village, whether you have a family village or you have to hire some people in a village. But yeah, it's okay to ask for help. You're actually stronger if you need help, you're stronger if you can ask for it.
And you're gonna live happier. I'm gonna tell you why, because sometimes the mom guilt kicks in. So, for example, in my case, I pick up my kids every single day from school. My husband is the one who does the drop off in the morning. And sometimes, because I was on meetings, I couldn't make it for pickup, and it drove me insane. You have no clue how it was it was killing me not to pick them. And I then I realized, like, what? That's nothing. And the kids, by the way, they didn't even care. They were leaving next time. I had so much time in after school leaving.
Yeah.
And I have a wonderful neighbor that the kids go to the same school, etc. So now, with no stress, with no pain, with no guilt, I call her, listen, today I'm not going to make it for pickup. Can you pick the kids up? And sometimes I do the same for her. So is that thing that sometimes we feel that we need, I don't know where we got this idea that we have to do everything. We need to change our chip on that. And whenever you need help, just ask. And you know what? That also teaches the kids that it's okay and that mom doesn't do everything. So it's also show and tell with the kids. And but again, we all learn.
Yeah, we all learn. That's actually very important with the show and the tell. Well, I don't know where all of that comes from just as like a woman and a mother, but when you put on your CEO hat, like how did you learn to just truly trust your instincts when it comes to being a CEO? Because you consider yourself or describe yourself as a hands-on CEO. So what does that mean exactly? And how did you learn to do that?
So, okay, so going back to the roots, both of my parents, they are lawyers, but they started their own businesses. So I grew up seeing them being business owners. So I guess that comes from there, that I saw them being very hands-on, delegating and being on top of the game. And when you start a business, I always say that it's key to delegate, but you need to know what you're delegating, to know how to instruct people to do things. So I have no problem talking to customers. I have no problem rolling my sleeves to do things. Of course, as you grow, you start doing that less. But I think that every business owner or CEO needs to know how to do like the nitty gritty of every business, because that's the only way you learn very well the operations, what is needed. And I will give the example to my team. It's like the chef giving an instruction of how to cook, but they have never cooked before. So it's similar. You need to know how to do things to then be able to delegate. And I think that that's part of my hands-on mentality. And again, I also have had to learn how to delegate at work. Because we tend to control and to love and to do beyond everything. But just having the right people in place will help you do other things. But again, it's not just delegating. You have to be on top of the game. And if you need to step in, you should be able to do that. There is no ego. I think the hands-on situation is leaving the ego behind and do whatever it's needed to be done.
Yeah.
So that's.
I love that. It reminds me of something my husband always, like, I hear him saying to the kids when it comes to like learning how to do things, and he runs his own companies and things like that. But he could do all of the jobs. Like, God forbid if everyone left, he could still, it would be hard, but he knows how to do every aspect of his company. And that sort of gives you a sense of power. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And also, even when I onboard new people on the team, I say, like, listen, I know how long it takes to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not the fastest person in the world. So don't come and tell me that you all day doing this, because I've done it before. So it gives you authority.
Yeah.
And then the team also trusts you. And again, we don't know everything. And then is when you bring the specialist and the whole thing. But yes, that's kind of I do feel that we need to, and the world changes so much that we have to be in learning mode all the times. And I always say this to my kids because they see me, I'm learning, I'm all on all those things. So it's like, you never stop learning. It's not only in school that you learn. You have to be updated with new things. The world changes so fast. So we have to be on everything.
Yeah, it changes everything. I always tell my kids, please never lose curiosity. Be curious every day. Learn every day.
That's everything. Yes.
Well, I love your hosting energy. Honestly, I'm going to keep saying it. It was one of my favorite evenings in terms of a dinner party. Just every little aspect, from the tablescape to the food, to the way the Chefpost, team described the food and presented the food, and the way you guys asked questions at the table and connected all of us as strangers. I want to know from you, how would you describe the perfect dinner party, like in a couple of words? Because I keep going on and on about it in paragraphs, but what makes a night truly feel magical to you as a host?
It's all about the guests, to be honest. You have to make it. I mean, You have to enjoy, but you have to make it about the guests. So I'm going to give you, I love hosting. That also comes from early ages. I was the one who was hosting the bachelorette parties for your friends. I don't know why I'm like that, but I'm like that. So I feel, because I always wonder why. Sometimes I always wonder why. And I like making people feel special. So I guess that's part of the secret of hosting. You want them to feel special. So if you're hosting at home, it's about them, how they feel comfortable, that they don't feel maybe weird with the other guests, that the conversations are open, that there is no judgment, that everyone feels like free, etc. I give this example because actually tomorrow I'm hosting my annual holiday party at home, and I host like 20 people, and they come with the kids and everything. It is something that all my friends look forward every single year. They plan their tickets, their vacations around this party. I mean, I'm telling you, I receive calls from my
Amazing.
friends like in August. Listen, do you know the date that you're gonna of your holiday? But I have no clue. I can give you an idea of what I'm thinking, but the secret, and then the kids are running all over the place, and the families feel like I'm not annoyed, because sometimes when you go to someone's home and then the host is like looking, okay, why are you touching these? Like, be careful with that.
Yeah.
Put yours. So I feel that if you want to host, you need to make sure that everyone feels at home. It's your home, but for that specific time, everyone's home, and you want people to feel special, taken care of, and yeah, so they have the best time of their lives. And all the other details like the food, the decor, is that wow moment. You want to make a wow moment at the same time. So it's all about the details.
I love that. I mean, I love that. I love hosting the holidays. I love the tablescape. I love the cooking. I love it all. But I will say this year, after reflecting back for like the last 10 years of my parenting, I'm always tired. I'm always in what's next? What does that person need? I never enjoy the food. I barely even sit down to eat it because I'm always on to the next thing. My brother's hosting this year and he hired Chefpost, and I am so excited. The only thing I had to do this year is order. I've talked everybody into wearing elevated, nice pajamas. We're
And
having a pajama dinner party. So I ordered my pajamas on Everjay. And for the first time, I get to show up as a guest, and I don't even feel guilty, because sometimes when other people host, I feel guilty that they're having to do all the work and
yeah,
I'm only bringing like wine or a dessert or whatever. I'm excited that all of us get to show up, and him hosting gets Chefpost is going to come in and transform the kitchen and the meal and the bartender. We all get to just spend quality time together, connecting and eating delicious food. And we are so excited. It's our first time doing this.
amazing. So happy for you. And that's why also that part of Chef Post, having a chef, a bartender. So you get to enjoy, you be present. You are a guest in your own party. That's the goal. That you
Yeah.
forget about the rest.
Well, I would love for you to briefly walk us through how it works, because I was actually shocked. It is so organized. It is like completely full service. You can add on certain things that you want or you don't want. You can pick out your menu. But can you walk us through what it's like? Because it's honestly shocking too. When people hear, "Oh, I hired a chef," their mind goes to, "Oh, that's overly bougie," or "That's such an indulgent." But you really deliver a class act experience, and it's not as expensive. It is definitely affordable if you think about the time and the money and the stress of doing things and not doing it as well as a chef, because I always waste so much food. I always waste so much stuff because I don't know how to shop for the quantity. I always overdo it. So it is actually, it works out better all
Yes.
around with a
And
company like this. I know people don't believe me saying that, but it truly does. So could you walk us through, like, let's say Cari Fund is like, okay, I am not hosting this year. I'm going to enjoy the holidays and be present with everyone else. What do I do?
so great question. Thank you for asking. So we create Chef Post in a way that you have options. So It is really a marketplace where every chef has their own profile with their own menus and their own pricing. So there is a price for every type of menu. Sometimes you want something super elevated and fancy. And of course, the price that the chef probably has for that experience has a higher point. But maybe you want, for example, tomorrow, I have 20 people. It's not seated. It is small bites for everyone. Actually, I'm doing a brunch at night.
I love that.
It's a good idea. I thought I love brunch. So I thought, I think that everyone will love brunch. The kids love the hot cocoa, etc. So anyway, so that's small bites. So it's a larger party and the price point is in the lower price point of the brackets of the things that I can choose. You would go and search based on the date and location that you need the chef, and you will pick and choose the one that you like the most and the menus that you want to do. And it's price per person for the events. And there are different price points. So it really depends on the type of menu and experience you have. You book there. And then there is a personal concierge that will help you coordinate all the final details in case you want to add on a server, a bartender. Maybe you need rentals, tables, God knows, everyone is different. So there is that help, a concierge trying to customize and coordinate all the details for you, because our mission is to make people's lives easier and better. So that comes from the moment that you go to Chefpost and book your chef to the very end. So you don't worry about anything and that you can relax and enjoy.
It's honestly such a dream. My brother, who just moved to the Miami area like 6 months ago, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to need everything for the tablescape. You can be in charge of that. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. He's like, just design it and then send me the links and my girlfriend will order everything. I was like, no, 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 no. If you need to, you ask Chefpost that they're going to do everything. I'm showing up in my pajamas with my kids ready to like experience the meal. So he had no idea. I'm like, no, it's like a full service, like
full service. I mean,
full service.
The main part is the chef. So once the chef
Yeah.
is booked, because based on availability, it changes every day. People book online all the time. So once the chef is booked, then is when we go into the details. And okay, what do you need? What do you want? Some people have their own thing, their own dinnerware, etc. But if you have a large party, probably you're not going to have all that dinnerware. So then we can help you coordinate with our amazing partners that do the table decor, the flowers, blue. And
it's truly amazing. You have to check it out. It's
thank you.
chefpost.com. Well, just to wrap up, I really want to thank you for your time. I find you so inspiring. Your energy, I swear to God, your energy, your food, your team, you all have this vibe. I don't know how you have built this, but you have. And honestly, I truly think it just stems from your upbringing and watching your mother and honestly living through your own mothering and just wanting more, wanting to feel more, wanting to be more, wanting to connect more. You've really built something beautiful. So the last thing I'd like to ask you to end with is the woman you are today, Diana today, if you could go back and tell the woman Diana before this, let's say 10 years ago, what would you say to her?
Wow, such a great question. I would say
That's good though.
no, I think that is all about, I always say mindset is everything, because it's not as easy as it looks. So to always, mindset and relationships are the two things that I have now after the last, 10 years. Of course, Chefpost is new, but I've noticed that those two things are really the most important things that maybe impact your life. Is the people you surround yourself with is key. It's more important than money, incredibly enough. Is more important than anything else. Your husband for sure. That partner in your life is, I always say, is the most important decision that you can make in your life, is who you marry. And then your friends, your partners in business, your team. So relationships is really everything in life. And also how to stay away of the toxic relationships that you might find in your journey.
Yeah.
That's one. And of course, mindset, because I always say mindset and spirituality is like is the workout for your soul and your mind. You cannot stop investing in that time in nourishing your mind and your soul, because life throws you challenges and you have to be prepared. And it's the same way, like the way you work out to prepare your body to a marathon is the same way that you have to prepare your mind and your soul for difficult times, because I wish everything was flowers and rainbows.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. So it's a whole roller coaster. And this is why I think that those two things is, I would say to Diana, and actually is my conclusion for this year, to be very mindful with your relationships and know who is the right people for your goals and your life. Not everything is business, but like who you need to, because that's food for your soul, right? Again, going back to our conversation, life is very hard to do it alone.
Yeah.
Life and business. So that community, that village is everything. Listen, this is why we are now having a conversation together, because now there was a relationship that was built and nourished, etc. So that goes way farther. And I know that now that we're working remote, many of us, we forget that that is so important. Sometimes we are so tired and we don't want to go to an event and we don't know what. And I share that a lot on social media sometimes, this, but you have to, you never know who you're going to meet. So be open. And also, you might be someone that is a tool to open doors for someone else. So it's give and receive all the time. So that's basically what I would tell Diana of 2024 and 2014.
I love that, though. It's so important, mindset and relationships.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time. It's such a pleasure. Honestly, you are full of just such spirit and energy and information and power. And I love that people, even if they never get to meet you, they'll get to experience that if they bring Chefpost into their home. It really is. It's a great way to spread your energy and your love and the lessons that you've learned in your life. So thank you, Diane, so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. You are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me for this week's episode of Surviving Roots. I hope it gave you something meaningful to carry with you. Let's keep this conversation going. Find me on Instagram at cari.fund, where I'll share more from the show. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs it. And remember, we are the choices that we make.